Welcome back to U.S. Farm Report. Trusted, timely, tradition.
Well, there's no question the West is dry, but it's not until you visit the parched plains do you realize how dire the drought picture truly is. And as farmers try to get a game plan together for spring, some farmers are already faced with a tough decision to possibly not plant because it's just too dry. Brian Brooks will be the first to tell you.
Yeah, you can just tell how abusive this winter's been.
Farming in this area of Colorado isn't for the faint of heart.
Well, we're down here in Back County. This is the epicenter of the Dust Bowl.
A farmer in an area used to arid climate says this winter has been brutal.
The last big rain event we had was in August. There's a few guys that got weed up when they planted early, but the dryness has took it.
80% of the dryland wheat in this area may not make it this year, with some acres not even sprouting because it was too dry.
We've had 4/10 of moisture this year so far, and a lot of it just came, half a tenth here and just no large margin. We've had a lot of wind, and it's just been very destructive on everything.
Brooks is one of many farmers facing a bleak picture in the southern high plains.
If you look at the November to February period, second driest on record behind only that 2017-18. So it's just another year that we've just experienced in a string of very difficult years going back to the mid-1990s.
This map shows the ranking of moisture, with areas of the Texas High Plains and southeast Colorado seeing the driest November through February on record.
There's a 5-state area, portions of 5 states, centered on the Oklahoma Panhandle, and obviously extending into New Mexico, Texas, southwestern Kansas, and southeastern Colorado, that some people are terming the new Dust Bowl location. And that is because of the preponderance of the drought, the wind, and the temperature swings, blowing dust, wildfires that we've seen.
Wheat fields bear the scars of just how brutal Mother Nature can be.
If you look at Texas, currently more than 80% of the winter wheat crop is rated in very poor to poor condition. Conditions are only marginally better as you head northward through Oklahoma into Kansas and Colorado.
Brooks seems to be in ground zero of the drought this year.
We've even had events, after 50, 60 mile an hour winds, the road graders have to come out and push the sand off. It's drifting up kind of like what snow does. And it's a challenge this year. This is one of the driest years we've had since 11.
And with only a trace of moisture since last fall, plans to plant this spring are growing dimmer by the day.
Praying for rain, and hopefully things turn around here and we can get our corn in, our milo in. It's going to take quite a bit of moisture to get that done. If not, we're going to be looking at follow, prevent, plant.
Irrigated acres could still see a crop in this area, but high input costs are just adding to the pain.
This input prices, this is crazy. Last year we were buying anhydrous for, $420 a ton. I got a bid yesterday. It was $13.50 a ton for anhydrous. That's pushed our corn up another 24 bushel to a break-even price. That's huge.
Brooks says 70% of this part of southeast Colorado probably won't get planted this year. It's just too dry, and the outlook for moisture isn't promising at this point.
And the outlooks do not look good because we are facing the La Nina-driven storm track that takes the storms to the north of this region. That leaves the area with just a lot of wind and only scattered rain showers or snow showers, not much in the way of precipitation.
Brooks tries to spread out his risk and raises cattle as well.
So right now there's a shortage of feed in our area.
But the drought is hitting from all sides this year.
It's costing a lot of money just to keep these cows going. We don't have any winter wheat for graze for our yearlings, so almost all our yearlings are in the feedlot right now.
And with the price of corn elevated, the cattle side isn't penciling either.
There's a large amount of cattle in this area that's already had to be liquidated just due to the drought. We don't have a lot of winter grazing. Coming in the spring, we've grown no grass.
And right now, the outlook points to more liquidation in the months ahead.
A lot of these producers are looking to liquidate. We do have the CRP program. We can come in and graze, but it's after the nesting period of July 15th. So people are trying to survive to that point.
While feed prices are sticker shock on the cattle side, on the grain side, his local elevator is offering historic prices to grain farmers just to get any grain they can.
Right now we have $10 wheat and we're all pumped, but we have no wheat. We sold it out. On my farm I averaged $8.50 a bushel, which that's a good price. I made money at $8.50. But this $10 wheat, not being able to grow it, it's disappointing.
Disappointing as Brooks comes to grips with the reality of historic input and grain prices, with a drought that seems to be doing everything it can to ensure this area doesn't see a crop at all this year.
Right now they're forecasting record profits for farmers. It's not going to happen at all. You know, if we need to raise 2 or 3 times the yields of normal, it's not going to happen with this drought.
Now, Brad Rippey says much of the western U.S. is wrapping up the 8th year of drought in the last 11. So from the fight over water rights to just the fact that Mother Nature isn't lending farmers any favors, some producers in California are also weighing what crops they'll actually give their allocated water to and what crops will stay fallow this year. Well, when we come back, drought in South America is also adding to the soybean situation. For supplies, our marketing roundtables will break all of that down next.
The 2022 Bracket Busters Challenge, presented by Case IH, is underway. Who's still in the game? To find out.